on your Feel Good Breakfast show indeed. And this morning, I told you all about how we're having these really important conversations, my family, and it is all in the name of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October, of course. And it is all about, promoting early detection and finding out, the ways in which we can know that we might have breast cancer. But we're going to be getting into that this morning with someone who truly has all the answers and someone who can help us out indeed, SA. I am talking about the chair of the Breast Imaging Society of SA. It is Dr. Peter Shub, who is here to let us know about the current trend that we are actually seeing, unfortunately, of how women younger than 40 are getting more and more of breast cancer diagnoses. It really is unfortunate, but this is why we want to understand where exactly it's coming from. So everyone, let's welcome Dr. Peter Shub. Peter, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Doctor, I'm so glad that you are here because it really is a concerning thing when we talk about the fact that, younger and younger women are getting breast cancer. Can you talk to us about this trend? What exactly is it?
Yeah, I think from the outset, it's very important to say that although there is this trend, the vast majority of breast cancers are still happening in older women.
Okay.
And in fact, the older you get, the more likely it is that you get a breast cancer. But unfortunately, worldwide, we are seeing more breast cancers in women in their 30s, late 20s.
To do a breast self-examination.
And, this is devastating.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about young moms, we're talking about women in the workforce, and for them and for society, that really is catastrophic. Unfortunately, younger women tend to get the more aggressive cancers. That's the faster growing ones.
Oh, wow.
So what that means is that by the time they get detected, often the cancers are more advanced. In other words, a bigger lump and more chance that it's spread.
Yeah.
And if it's spread or metastasized, it's much harder to treat and the mortality rate is much higher. So the other thing is that, unfortunately, because we all expect cancer to happen in older people, it's not suspected or picked up early.
Sure.
And so they present late.
And that's what I was going to say. That's where early detection comes in, right? But then I want to ask you, what's the contributing factor to this increase that we're seeing in the younger woman?
So the truth is that we don't really know.
Oh, wow.
I mean, in general, we don't know the cause of breast cancer. There is a theory that in most populations, girls are starting to have their periods at a younger age. A lot of women are choosing not to have kids or to have their first child later in life.
Yeah.
And what that means is a longer period of their life where there are uninterrupted periods.
Yes.
And they have exposure for a prolonged period of time to their estrogen and progesterone, and that acting on the breast tissue, especially the young breast tissue, predisposes more younger women to getting breast cancer. But that's just a theory. And it's something that can't really be avoided essentially ever.
It's our hormones, Yes.
Exactly.
But doctor, we brought you here as well to kind of, dispel any sort of different notions we might have that aren't 100% true, right? Which is why I want to ask you, are there lifestyle habits that we should be adopting to try and stay away from ever getting breast cancer? Or is it something that's just genetic?
So, again, we don't know a cause and we can't talk about prevention.
Yeah.
However, there are certain risk factors. So, for example, we know family history is very important, especially if it's first-degree family, like mothers and sisters, and if they got it very young. We know certain genetic mutations, things like obesity, alcohol consumption to excess, smoking. Those lifestyle habits are considered risk factors, but not very strong ones.
Okay.
So you can modify those, but you're not excluding your risk of breast cancer.
Yeah.
And the reality is that at least 75% of breast cancers, there are no family history, there are no other risk factors at all. So it can happen to anyone.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yes, living a healthy life is very important, but unfortunately, it's not going to remove the risk of breast cancer.
Sure. I think that's such a scary thing to think about, but this is why we're having this conversation, right? So we can get all the information. So this is why I then want to ask you, what are the signs we need to look out for when it comes to breast cancer?
So, very important. You know, about 50% of breast cancers, there are signs or symptoms. The other 50%, unfortunately, are silent, and that's why things like mammograms are so important to pick it up even if you can't feel it.
Yeah.
But in terms of what are the symptoms, the most important one is feeling a lump.
Okay.
Now, even though most lumps are not cancers, it's still the most important sign of a cancer. A lump feels like a small pea or a marble under the skin.
Yes.
And if someone thinks that they have a lump, it has to be checked every single time.
Okay.
So that's the most important one, but there are other signs. If you notice any change in the breast, the shape, the contour, the skin itself, the nipple, if it starts to pull in or if it looks different in any way, that needs to be checked.
Go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor.
Yes.
Occasionally a discharge from the nipple is important, especially if it's got blood in it.
Okay, so doctor, then this is why I want us to get into the self-examination then, because this is a self-examination that you can do at home, right?
Yes.
Okay, so please, can you show us and our viewers what can we do to do the self-examination?
Okay, so
Yes.
the first thing to understand is that there are two parts.
Okay.
There is inspection and examination. Now, when you do the inspection, you stand in front of the mirror, okay, with your arms down.
Okay.
To start off with, then you're going to place your arms up behind your head.
Okay.
Right? Then hands at the side, pressing into your hips. And what you're looking at the breast, right? And you are looking for any change in the contour,
Okay.
right? Or the shape of the breast. So does one side look different? Maybe it's a little bit higher up. In terms of the contour, are there any lumps or bumps, indentations, dimpling,
Yes.
thickening of the skin? You're looking at the nipple. Is it pulling in, like I said? Is there like a peeling rash around the nipple?
Yeah.
Those are the things that you are looking for, that you're inspecting. Then we move on to the examination.
Yes.
Right now, this is often best done lying down. And it's important to be systematic, to cover the whole breast.
Yes.
Right hand examines the left breast and the left hand the right breast.
Okay.
And if you think of the breast like a clock face, you move all the way around, from the top going all the way around the clock face. You use the middle 3 fingers.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And you use the pads of the fingers, not the tips. Start off gently, up and down.
And the pads being here.
The pads being just at the ends of the finger
Okay,
here.
okay.
Just at the end. That's the best part to feel things. And you move up and down, right, all the way around. And then you move in small circles also. The first exam you do very soft and then a bit firmer, never hard.
Okay.
You feel around the nipple, under the nipple. And lastly, you want to feel under the arm. Very important, because you can get enlarged glands or nodes. So you do it by keeping the arm down, not up.
Okay.
Okay, down to relax it. And then you can get those fingers deep inside and you feel around to feel if there's any lumps.
Okay. Doctor, thank you so much.
It's a
I
pleasure.
think that is so empowering, and especially just to be able to know that, you can check for yourself, but also just making people aware that at any point when you feel like, hey, something's a little bit different here, just go to the doctor.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you, Dr. Shiv. We appreciate you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing. Listen, Expresso family, it is all about the early detection, which is why it's so important to learn that self-examination, right? But also to always make sure that you're checking yourself, and just if anything at all seems like it's out of place, it's not right, it looks very different, you head off to the doctor so that you, my friend, can indeed be safe. That's what it is about. And that is why today we are talking all things breast cancer awareness. Right about now, though, I know that my family still got a whole lot coming up in Cape Town. You and Carissa, are you guys still all right?